It's time to get started.
A new life begins!
Okay, and we are good to go. Yep, mics are now live.
Okay.
And welcome to episode number 2. Nothing like a little hate breed to get you going as we kick this off. And we are going to start with kind of a controversial topic. This has been discussed, I know, in a few other places, but I definitely wanted to get our take on it. So apparently, Colin Kaepernick can't seem to keep himself straight.
I don't know who that is, man. He's a football player.
He is an American football player. He made a name for himself on the 49ers, had one good season, then got put back into a backup role. Managed to find various ways to wreck his career. There's some other stuff that goes in there. Everybody that knows about him kind of has their own opinions of what he does, what he says. But as far as comics world, he is working with Lumi in giving a chance for people to create comics through AI, which means AI course goes out, pulls from different artists to create a kind of artwork. Nothing that is AI created can be copyrighted. So he is going to have to deal with, if he puts anything out, it's not copyrighted. So anybody can use it for anything they want, which it's out there for free. The big issue in the comics world is that this is kind of an abomination to what the artists do. I mean, it's years and years and years of hard work to become talented enough.
Writers, it's
Right, and the writers, but I think mostly it's the artwork that is the big controversy on this. Because I mean, I doodle, but I can't draw at the level that these guys do.
yeah.
I don't
And
think
the consistent with a monthly basis. That's because I mean a month sounds like a long time, but still like that's what 30-ish pages.
yeah,
Every
right around 32 normally, sometimes more.
sometimes less.
Yes, sometimes less. But I mean, it's the work that goes into it to getting to that level that's just insane. And this is kind of a way of trying to shortcut that. And they've worded it in a way of, oh, we're taking away the gatekeepers. Well, the gatekeepers are the drive to do it, the natural talent and a base to do it, and the effort that you put in and year out to get that good at it. Those are your gatekeepers, right? So what are you doing? You're hurting the people who have gone and done these things. So it's not like there's some guy standing at the door saying, no, you can't be an artist. But yeah, come on in, you can be an artist, right? There's not that.
Yeah.
It's these factors of, putting in the time, putting in the work to get to that level. I know at first there was a debate over, well, does he really know that he's doing this? But he went to Comic-Con, he met with artists, and they all told him the same thing. So he knows what he's doing moving forward with this.
I really don't know, like, because last year there's the strikes over AI. Why are you consistently wanting to do it? Because you're always going to get backlash from the actual people that do it, writers, actors, artists. They're never going to go, yeah, go ahead, AI, cool.
Yeah, right. They're not going to tell you and take this nameless thing and take money out of my pocket. Take food off of my table. We were going to move on. because I needed you, because I don't know anything about this. But you were going to talk about D23
Disney's.
and the using some air quotes here, um, the announcements that
Um,
that they had.
I can probably send you some pictures of some stuff that was announced because it might take a little bit of looking around. So you want to start?
No, go right ahead.
Okay.
Go.
If you don't, if you aren't aware, D23 is Disney's big Comic Con thing where they announce sometimes everything. I only really be talking about their Marvel and Star Wars stuff. A recap of the Pixar is more sequels. Recap of the Disney stuff, more sequels. That's about it. um,
Yeah, Disney is kind of relying on sequels and remakes at
uh,
this point.
but as far as Marvel goes, from what I remember, the main theme for the Fantastic Four movie was shown. I think it was actually before the official event started. There's a video with the main cast and a glimpse of one of the suits was revealed. I think Johnny's. Let me see if I can pull it
Okay.
up. Kind of get your thoughts on it.
Well, I mean, we can always go back and do that. I kind of just wanted a review from what you had been watching this week. I'd been kind of honestly trying to catch up on a lot of comics that I'm behind on. I actually made it through just about everything from my pull this week. The only thing I didn't, and we didn't actually pick them up till Friday,
Hmm.
but the only thing that I haven't read, there's two books, and that is Absolute Power #2
Hmm.
and Batman 151. The only reason I didn't is because it was missing from your pool.
Yeah.
So we'll have to read it. You're probably just gonna have to read the copy I have, and we'll see if we can get it in your box.
Hopefully they have a copy when I get there.
Yeah.
Which,
If not, I mean, you at least get to read it.
yeah.
So we'll read that. Keep
Hmm.
notes on the issues as we read them, and do a full review, which is probably going to end up being an additional episode one
Hmm.
week, kind of an add-on, extra content type thing. Woo! That's just going to be
DLC.
a say what
DLC.
DLC. No, no, but it'll be just kind of a full review of the event as a
We'll
whole.
put a QR code at the end of it.
We are not Marvel, and we will be talking about that actually.
But the other stuff at D23, Daredevil trailer was shown for attendees. From what I've seen and from the little clips, looks good. Looks like a good continuation of the Netflix show. Another Agatha trailer was released. Ironheart got a trailer that finished filming like a year, 2 years ago, I think. I don't remember what else. I think that was it. I don't really care about that Agatha show. The only reason it exists is because her original song in the WandaVision show got really popular.
Okay.
So Marvel was like, "Oh, we need to make it a whole nother show."
How can we capitalize on that?
Yeah.
All right.
The Star Wars stuff, nothing's really announced. The Mandalorian movie looks like it's retracting pretty much everything from season two. So if you really like the way Mando was characterized in season one,
Well, again, I mean, Marvel is owned by Disney, and they don't believe continuity matters. So why should it matter for
um,
anything else?
'cause I think it was like one of those where the Razor Crest was shown again, even though it got blown up like 4 years ago.
Oh, right. Yeah. So they're trying to move only with what is popular and kind of grab at it and move ahead with that.
Yeah, I think it was about it.
Okay.
It was the most boring T23 I've ever heard of.
Well, that's why I had you to take that bullet for the rest of us.
I mean, I just looked at a Twitter account during those days.
No, and that's fine. I yeah, I kind of backed off of that, and I paid attention to Comic Con when it was going
Oh
on.
yeah, it's Comic Con.
Yeah, it's Comic Con, but I really was not interested in the Disney, and I knew you were looking at it, so I took advantage of that, and stayed
Well,
off of
I'm
all that.
always gonna be interested. I know why Disney or Marvel and Star Wars didn't announce a bunch of projects because they wouldn't be coming out for another couple of years and they could get canceled.
Like they've done quite a few times.
And I get that, but it's also like people are paying a lot of money to fly out.
All right, well, we're going to move on and leave Disney behind and go to DC. So DC announced the DC Compact Comics.
If you don't know, they're these really small comics.
They're manga sized.
Yeah,
Um,
a lot thicker, and they're in full color.
yeah, they're a lot thicker. They're in full color. I went and grabbed the Batman Hush.
Hmm.
I really like this format. My only complaint about it is the well.
The gutter loss. I mean, even a standard size trade is gonna
Yeah,
get
you
that.
you get it. They've done a good job of making sure that it's as little as possible,
Hmm.
but there are some splash pages in here that could have been adjusted a little better. Maybe I don't
Hmm.
know if they could have.
It's split binding. It's also 12 issues that are really small size.
Yes. Some of the text print is really small for my old ass eyes, but majority of it is not. Majority of it is very easy to sit down and read. I haven't gotten too far into it just yet. I've been doing more of just kind of looking ahead in it, kind of reviewing like how the art
Hmm.
converted, how the text converted, the story itself. And I'll be honest, I have not read Hush, so
I have.
this is going to be a lot of fun for me.
Uh-huh.
Um,
From what I remember, I liked Hush. If you really like that story, do not watch the animated movie,
Noted.
unless you just kind of want to watch a bad movie for 90 minutes. It's not bad. It's from what I remember, it's pretty faithful for about the first half, maybe first quarter or so.
Right,
But then it just kind of takes a nosedive into being its own thing, and most of it's because it was DC was doing their animated movie universe around that time.
right.
So instead of doing Hush as a standalone project, they connected it.
Ah,
Tim Drake's not in it.
so it should have been connected in. But I mean, what I've read so far, I am enjoying. Batman fan, more on the Joker Harley side of the
Hmm.
Batman universe, but I really enjoy just that whole Batman universe.
Hmm.
Not necessarily the movies. Some of them are really good, some of them are really bad. So you just kind of take the good with the bad, move on. But it's definitely something I enjoy, and I like the size. I'm tempted to pick up the Watchmen, and that's just because we have the trade.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good story.
Hmm.
As far as the compact comics, that would give the best comparison,
Hmm.
because we could honestly sit with the trade on one side and the compact on the other. But I just kind of went in. I knew I wanted Hush. They had it on the shelves at Hall of Justice, so I grabbed it, and that's the one I'm starting with. But the
Um,
format itself, really good. Uh, so if they have a series already released,
mhm.
they're looking to do more in the future. I think the sales has been pretty good.
These are gonna sell well either way. It's I just wonder what in the long run is if they're gonna collect entire runs or series.
I don't know if I would do that. I think this would be better served
Hmm.
doing what they've done so far, which is here's the big events that throughout
Hmm.
that we put together. I don't know if I would want to go and get like a Silver Age or a Golden Age uh, Batman, Wonder Woman story, uh, you know, action comics. I don't know if I would really want that in this format unless you were going to release everything in this format instead of the normal trade format.
I don't know because they did the Court of Owls for that one,
Yeah, Court of Owls is on there.
and I don't know if they're going to do more because like the Court of Owls, it's 2 trades for that entire story arc. I would assume if they're going to do another one, probably going to be 0 year.
I don't know. I may have to pick up Court of Owls in this format as well. Do you have a trade?
I have both trades.
Okay, that would give us a direct
Yeah.
as well. I do like it. It's. I think it's much easier to throw in a bag and take with you wherever. The art has translated well.
Mhm.
I don't feel like the lettering got compressed too much. So if there's a story out
Mhm.
there that you have been wanting to check out and haven't, they're $10. It I think it's a good pickup. I think it's a good value for what
Mhm.
is out there. What the
Mhm.
upside is for these things is really, really up. Yeah, definitely recommend if it's something you're interested in as far as a story, go and pick it up. It translated really well. Yeah, the gutter loss.
Mhm.
Um, there is a little bit of that in there.
But I mean, it's just gonna naturally get that it's
It's
a small book.
it's going to be there, and I don't think it takes away
Mhm.
from the enjoyment of what you have.
I do wonder if Marvel's gonna hop on this bandwagon.
I would expect to see Marvel start releasing something similar.
Because Marvel has their own. I've told you about this, but they have this. They have a series of books called Mighty Masterworks,
Right,
and they're really small. But the thing is, they collect the Silver Age stories,
right.
so they're also the same. I think they're the same price as normal trades.
Okay.
So they're that size, a lot smaller. 17.
Yeah. So I think they're going to have a hard time.
Mhm.
I really do. This is if you were to compare them, one to one, you're looking at uh, $10 to $17. Definite difference in what you want to pick up and where you want to go. All right. Well, we will move along. Let's do your recommendation from this week first. All right. Go right ahead, Jay.
So my recommendation for the week was Uncanny X-Men. This is the new run for the From the Ashes relaunch from Marvel, their second mainline book. I'm very bad. I didn't write down the creative team.
You didn't have it all prepped out.
No, no, because that would be convenient,
Oh, right. Right.
and
That
you
would
don't
be,
want convenience.
yeah. Yeah. And of course, this is episode 2. So we're still kind of setting up our area of where we want everything to be, how we do this. And, eventually you'll get to see our wonderful faces on here, but we're
Um,
still in that setup realm.
so this is written by Gail Simone with art by David Marquez. I believe that's how it's pronounced. It's got a Q in there.
The Q in there. Yeah, the Q is talking to me. The Q is talking to me. That's showing my age right there. If you know that joke, showing my age.
First comment, damn, you're old.
I know, right? um, but anyway, uh,
Because you've also read it, you can also talk about
yeah, yeah, we both read it. This is going to be our review episode for the week. Is going to be on this issue, so I don't want to really go into what we thought of it, but I know there's been again a lot of up and down reactions to the From the Ashes releases from Marvel. I looked at all of them to kind of see what I wanted to get
it. Mhm.
into, what I didn't want to get into, and of course, when they showed this cover and Gambit was obviously going to be in this issue, this is the one I went with.
Um, I had originally subbed to X-Men, and then I was like, "Oh, I'll pull Uncanny and then see which one I like more." After reading it, I think I'm just gonna drop X-Men, just pull Uncanny. It's weird because I think the way Marvel wants you to look at it is X-Men is the book where you don't have to know anything about them. You can jump right into it. Nothing's required to read beforehand. And Uncanny is meant to be like, here's the older characters, but it's also like, why would you read the book that has Juggernaut on the team and one notable character with a new costume, or the book that has all the notable ones?
Right. And we'll get more into that on the review episode. Uh, but definitely that is a recommend from both of us,
Mm,
and apparently from Roxy as well.
she really recommends it.
Yeah, yeah,
She can't stop talking about it.
yeah. She's got lots to say about it. All right, so my recommend for this week is "Ain't No Grave" #4, and this is, of course, written by Scotty Young, and the artist on this one is Jorge Corona, who is absolutely one of our favorite artists.
Mm-hmm.
This one, when I sat down with it, I was really, really anticipating this one. I read the first 3 issues straight through. I just kind of put them aside. I didn't want to start till I had at least 2 of them. I ended up waiting until I had 3. Read all 3 of them, so I was caught up. I was very excited about the 4th one coming out. There are 2 words in this entire book, and I was kind of taken aback by it. So I actually went through and, again, I'm going to use air quotes, read it again. Um,
You looked at the pretty pictures.
yes, I looked at the pretty pictures, but it makes sense. I really liked it. I liked how it came across. If you enjoy artwork, definitely pick this up. If you are one of those people that needs everything spelled out for you, avoid this, because it doesn't spell everything out for you. It is a really good book. It continues the story perfectly. It ends on a cliffhanger, and I really enjoyed it. And like I said, I sat down with it twice. I had to do it twice because I just had to, come back through, and I wanted to know exactly what they were laying out for me and making sure that I, you know, didn't miss anything.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I guess because this is a 5-issue mini.
yep, yep. The
Do
final
you
issue comes out
do you think
next
it's
month.
leading up to the finale well, or do you think it could have used another issue?
No, I think it's leading up to the finale really well. I
Okay.
don't think that the final book is going to be rushed. I don't think any of the first 4 books were drawn out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good story. It's portrayed really well. If you have not been picking these up and you can't find a subsequent printing
Mm-hmm.
of the first 4, hang out, wait on the trade.
Comes out in November.
Yeah, wait on the trade
That's
and
what I'm
pick
doing.
that up. I'm picking it up issue by issue. Again, I'm a huge fan of anything that Scotty Young and Jorge Corona put out together. This is not disappointed at all. I have at each time I've read, like I said, I read the first 3 altogether.
Mm-hmm.
I was really anticipating the 4th book. I don't feel any kind of letdown on the 4th book, and I'm really ready for the 5th book. It's been what a comic book series is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to enjoy what you have
Mm-hmm.
and then be really anticipating what's next to come. And for me, this series has done it better than any series this year.
Okay. I think if you get caught up with Transformers, you'll kind of feel that way, where it's like you get to the end of it, and it's like,
And
God,
speaking of that, we
can't
are
wait till
now
another issue.
that's a really good segue because we're moving into Jay's issue that he is looking forward to on next week's pool.
There's a lot of stuff I was kind of looking at. Pull it up. Yeah, there's the TMT Night Watcher, but I just looking through it all, it's just I think Transformers is the one I'm looking forward to the most. It's just consistently been great. I mean, you've read the first issue and you thought it was good.
Yeah, yeah.
When you read it, I think how Optimus acts and just the way he presents himself and he acts to the other Decepticons and humans will really be noticeable to you.
I think there was the first issue of this, and I know I'm well behind, coming to the table late. But the first issue I really enjoyed.
Mhm.
I thought the artwork was really reminiscent of the cartoons that I grew up on.
Mhm.
That's kind of how they were portrayed. That's exactly how I enjoyed it. Um,
Well, it's also kind of meant to be a much darker take on the old one.
right, and it was. There
Mhm.
was a lot of. I don't want any spoilers thrown out for the people like me who are coming to it late. But there's a lot of stuff that happens in the first issue
Mhm.
that are a shock. Um, but it's really good. And I got to the end of the first issue, and it was just like, amazement and just, yep, I'm ready to go and steal the next few issues from you. Um,
You don't want to pick up the trade?
I I've been debating. Do I wait? Because it's going to pick up what the two trades would pick up 1 through 12, right?
Yes, I can actually check that.
So I will probably wait to jump on the series until 13 hits the FOC.
So 13 comes out in October.
Okay.
If you Volume 2 won't come out till November, so you can probably just pick up the first trade. I can give you 7 through 12.
Well, I'll probably pick up both just to have them.
Okay, I'll
But
just
yeah, I will probably do it that way.
okay.
Go ahead and pick up the first trade and then read 7 through 12. After that, pick up pulling it with 13, which now Jorge Corona is the artist on that book,
Mhm.
which, makes it even better. But yes, having read the first issue, I know I'm not up to issue 10 yet.
Mhm.
I completely understand why that is you're looking forward to
Mhm.
issue of the week.
It's never been a book where I'll finish it and go, wait, that's it.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely you get the storyline, but you're ready for the next one.
Mhm.
So, and again, that to me, that's what comics should be.
Yeah.
Um, so mine is actually Babs. This is one when it came down on the FOC, I looked at, I thought about it, and went back, looked at the FOC again. It kind of stood out to me. So when I finally sat down and did mine for that week, which sadly I missed this week, but when that FOC, I ended up looking at it and said, you know what? I'm gonna jump in on this. It looks like something interesting. It looks like something fun,
Mhm.
and so
Yeah,
yeah,
who would have thought Fun and Garth Ennis would go in the same
I
sentence?
I know, and it's Garth Ennis. Like I just yeah, that was kind of the selling point, and of course, I did get the Amanda Connor cover, which is not the one that's displayed up here, but we do try to keep this at least a little bit more everybody friendly. Um, so, but now we're going to move on to our episode in review, which is Venom War #1. And so last week we actually did Venomous. This week
Mhm.
we're doing Venom War #1. And I enjoyed Venomous very much.
Mhm.
And this one, I gotta say, I absolutely loved this issue.
Mhm.
It shows Venom in such a different light.
I
And
think getting that idea of like he was mistreated and that Peter was the only one that treated him right and not as a soldier, but as an actual like organic being.
right, but he still did not want to bond with him, even
Mhm.
though Venom really, really did. Again, we don't want to give any spoilers on this.
Mhm.
It is definitely a recommendation. I cannot recommend this book enough if you enjoy Venom.
I really liked how Peter was written. And I don't understand why Peter's consistently written very well in everything but the main book.
Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man right now is an abomination.
I wouldn't go that far if you ever want to read Wells' run. I think you'll kind of have it where the big story arcs, the one where Wells is like, you have to read these, are not the best, but the more fun arcs or just the lighter ones are pretty good.
Okay. So avoid the Marvel uh, essential arcs and just get the fun ones.
Dark Web Gang War 21 through 26, I think it was. Or the ones off Going Green is also not very good.
Okay. So yeah, it's and I haven't read it. I'm going off of the majority of people out there reviewing it, and of course, going off of what you have said. It's all lined up to where it is just a definite avoid. Vitamore, on the other hand, this is a definite recommend.
Even though I read it and I was like,
Oh, we've missed so much.
um, for context, the last issue I read, or last issue I have of Venom that I remember, was issue 3. It's released in December of 2021. Last thing I remember happening was Eddie Brock getting blown up.
Yeah, it's definitely that was kind of part of it. I didn't want to go back and catch up. I probably will now. I will be hopping on to Marvel and going back and reading a bunch of the Venom issues digitally. Uh,
There's a Carnage series that tied in a little bit.
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try to find everything in the reading order and pick a point to jump in on. But I really wanted to start this where it
Mhm.
was just like, hey, I'm gonna jump in. You know, how is this for somebody coming in and just saying, hey, I'm gonna start with Venom War? Um,
It's a great jumping on point.
well, it is honestly because I don't feel lost.
Mhm.
Right, a lot,
You felt
a
confused, just not
lot
lost.
has happened, and I realize that, but I don't feel lost reading the issue.
Mhm.
And there is a panel in there that I think is my favorite drawing of Venom ever. It's when he's talking to Peter, and Peter is just kind of explaining everything to him,
Um,
and the emotions that are in that drawing, in that one panel, that's the panel.
so the synopsis of what happened before kind of explains of like the symbiote has left Eddie and Dylan because he feels like he's doing more harm, and he's like, I can't do anything to Peter, and Peter's like, hey man, your mistakes don't make you up.
Right, and it's the emotions from that drawing of
Mhm.
Venom, absolutely amazing. I think it's my favorite drawing of him ever. It's not something that's going to be put on a shirt. It's not
Mhm.
something you're going to have on a poster, but the power of that one single
Mhm.
panel is amazing. Um, the rest of the artwork going through the book is just really, really good.
This is done by,
Uh,
if I can pronounce the name,
mhm.
I have to get through the prologue.
Okay.
Von Coelho, I think.
Yeah.
Like Von Coelho.
Uh, well, it's a absolutely amazing job of artwork. Um,
It's definitely a different tone, and I'm kind of worried how the times are going to be.
yeah,
Um, I'm sure it'll be explained with issue 2 because this was very much a setup issue.
it
But like,
was.
I how Carnage and Wolverine, the Fantastic Four all go into this because so far it just seems like it's a hot potato between the Venom symbiote. That makes sense.
It does, but I wouldn't really say hot potato. It's kind of explaining all the various hosts
Mm-hmm.
that Venom has had. Um, and
Because I mean, like with Absolute Carnage, it was I think Cletus, I think was actually Carnage in there. It wasn't just Sam, but he was trying to extract this because each if you had Venom as a host, there's
The
like
remnants.
yeah,
Yeah.
in your spine, and then King in Black was like all the symbiotes coming down.
Yeah. Everything coming back together. I really enjoyed this issue.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a high recommendation for me. So if you have not picked it up and you have any interest in Venom whatsoever, pick it up.
It was a very good issue.
So that actually brings us to the close of episode 2. Thank you for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
And if you enjoy what we're doing here, we do have more plans moving ahead in the future. We are on Patreon. If look at it, we're too new. We're still too unsettled. You
Mm-hmm.
don't want to spend any money. We do have stuff set up for those who are patrons. Join the free membership, because that's really where you're gonna see everything. And then if you want to be a patron later on and get what we have planned and building up to in the future, then do that. Let us know if way we have it set up is it's something that seems unfair. I'm completely good with changing it. That's
Mm-hmm.
not the point to this. The actual point to starting this was to get time with Jay. Um, and we're trying to branch out a little bit. We're gonna have a larger host table in the future.
Before I possibly leave Colorado for
Yeah, I mean, you grow up. That's the way it works. And I'm just, I'm trying to be selfish and hang on for a little bit longer, but to have something that we both kind of can connect on.
Mhm.
So everything else is up in the air as far
The
as
thing I can talk to nobody else about without sounding like a lunatic.
um, but yeah, so we are on Patreon, but that's not the point to it. Right now it's like 350 for the paid membership.
Mhm.
That if that seems too high, let us know. We can always bring it down. We're just trying to do this a little bit different. Give us your ideas.
Mhm.
Let us know what you think, and hopefully we'll have a larger host table moving forward. We can expand on Timmy's entourage, and we can all join together on the journey to Ragnarok.